it's kind of like having a gnarly injury and not doing PT for it, because PT sucks. PT hurts. It's torture. Like, you're usually breaking scar tissue apart and doing things that are not comfortable, but it means that a year from now you're going to be pain-free. Whereas if you don't do the PT, you're going to have lower grade pain for the, like, I mean, not to be crazy, but like the rest of your life. Welcome to the X-Files, a podcast about breakups, broken hearts, and moving on. I'm Claire.
And I'm Janice. We are breakup coaches, here to help you beat your breakup,
Heal your broken heart,
and move on to an amazing, abundant life.
Welcome back to part 2 of No Contact Revisited. We hope everyone liked the first part and that you found it helpful. We decided to make this a 2-parter because we have so many questions that are specific to no contact. I'm just scrolling through now, and we decided it might be a good idea to do an entire little mini-sode or episode. I don't know how many it's going to be really.
Yeah, it might be a full episode, but for this episode, we are just doing questions about no contact, and some of them get pretty specific, but believe it or not, we get it all the time. Yes. So even if, you know, maybe you want to ask something really specific in our Instagram DMs or something, like we probably have heard it before, but if this is your thing, if you're like, hey, my circumstances are different, I need to get your take on my unique situation, Patreon is the place to do it now. Yeah. So our $5 level, I think you get to ask questions and get thoughtful responses from yours truly.
We know a lot of people enjoy asking us questions in our DMs.
Yeah.
The podcast has grown to a size where we don't exactly have the capacity to do that, but on Patreon, we are going to be interacting a lot more closely with people. So come over there, get your questions answered.
Awesome. So with that, let's go right in no particular order. This is not laid out or is it?
No, it's not. I was just going to say, that being said, the first question is a wonderful starting point.
It is a good starting point.
Literally.
All right. So Janice, how do I start no contact with my ex? Do I have to tell this person?
Yeah, this is a great question, and I think helpful for people. I would say it kind of depends on where you are at with your ex right now. Yeah. So if you have been talking super regularly up to this point, I think that it's appropriate to say, I think that we need to stop. I'm going to be blocking you. I would like to have no contact for the foreseeable future. I will be in touch when I'm ready.
Yeah.
So I would say, that's perfectly appropriate. If you, though, have not been talking, but you've been looking, or you're curious if they're going to get in touch with you, or you haven't fully committed to no contact, I don't see any reason that you need to, reopen contact in order to close it.
Establish contact. Yes. Yeah, to open it, or to close it, or
or, if you had a big, blow up fight with this person and, now you've had a breakup, I say, it's also appropriate to cut things off.
Yes.
Without, having a conversation about it.
I completely agree. I think a lot of times no contact, it starts when people are not talking already. And it's usually like instituting the no contact rules, like not stalking on social media, you not reaching out and establishing contact. That's kind of where it's more about self-control on your end, usually, than controlling someone else's actions, which you can't really control, which is why, part of no contact is blocking. Because,
that's true. I mean, we have a couple questions about that, but you're right. It is typically, you're right. Just being disciplined on your own side of things.
Yeah, definitely. So if they don't respect my wishes, which I kind of referenced, I keep mixing up the order, but I just saw that actually made a lot of sense because we had just talked about what do you do if they don't respect your wishes?
Yep, this is a great question, but also kind of a puzzling one if you actually break it down. So, Claire, what do you think?
I think, how would you know that they're not respecting your wishes if they are blocked?
Yeah.
You shouldn't know. I think sometimes I hear about people getting really creative and emailing, but just pretend it goes into your spam. I think
technically, I mean, if that is an issue, you can block actually someone on Gmail. You can also filter it to go into your trash. I would say if this is someone who's not respecting your wishes, I would say this is even more reason that you need to be going no contact with them.
Yeah.
People talk about, well, what about our future friendship? What about this, that, the other? And, if this is someone who can't even respect your space, then, I think you should feel really validated for going no contact. And this is why also we have the block feature.
Yes, definitely. Like if the relationship pattern of you saying you need something and this person not giving it to you continues after the relationship, like honestly, your future friendship is on tenuous ground right now.
Yeah, completely.
I would not be thinking about preserving that by sacrificing your boundaries and sacrificing your healing right now. It just bad vibes. Don't recommend.
And hopefully this will help you maintain no contact and think about, what you want for your future, which is having people in it who do respect your boundaries.
Yeah.
Hopefully. I hope that's what our listeners want.
That's what we want for you, whether you're there yet or not. So.
All right. This is a really common one. I have been surprised how often this has come up, kind of saddened by how often this comes up. But the question is, I'm worried about their mental health. Can I still do no contact?
Yeah. So I love this question because it shows like how thoughtful and empathetic and caring our audience is. Like those are all wonderful qualities. And I don't want you to like stop that, but you got to not apply it to this person. You got to give it to the people in your life who, are able to reciprocate. And I think, I've been there. It's a valid fear, but you have to trust that this person has gotten through life until they met you. They will get through life after you leave. And in fact, it'll be a great time for their personal growth, a great time for them to strengthen their support network outside of you. Like they have people around them who care as well. Even if they say they don't, they do. They do. They will be fine. So, you just have to trust in this person's autonomy and ability to take care of themselves and know what's going to be best for them. A lot of times, weirdly, this question comes up around they broke up with me because of their mental health. And now I feel like I have to keep talking to them because they're so shaky right now. Like I don't want to leave them without support or something like that. And I think really what that speaks to is I'm hoping that by staying, I'll make their mental health better and then they'll get back with me. And it's just not fair for someone, no matter how much they're suffering with their mental health, to be like siphoning your energy like that. So
I think that a lot of times in a relationship, we enjoy being this person for someone, which I totally understand. And I think that it's giving up this role that you have in someone's life that is really challenging for a lot of people. And I can understand, having the feeling that you're the most important thing in someone's life and that they need you. And then getting to the point where you not only release that, but that you accept that that's just not the case anymore. That's a big hurdle to cross in a breakup, but it's such an important one as well. We're talking about your single chapter in life. We're talking about the next chapter in your life. We're talking about the chapter in your life that doesn't involve this person. And you've got to do it.
Yeah.
And also this is also about putting yourself first and not the other person anymore.
Yeah, completely. All right. So attachment styles, I get this question actually a lot. Where it's
You
like,
probably get it more than I do.
yeah, or it doesn't have to be about attachment styles. Okay, here we go. So I'm learning so much about attachment styles, fill in the blank, relationships, toxic patterns,
Or even maybe how they treated me.
how they treated you.
Mhm.
And I want to send them research or resources. Is that an appropriate time to break contact?
Mhm. No, it is not. No matter
No?
what you think that you want to tell this person, or how much you think they're going to benefit, or how much you think you're going to benefit by, and how much relief you might be getting by
Yeah.
getting this off your chest, I promise you, you will not get the satisfaction that you are fantasizing about.
You won't get no satisfaction.
Right.
So yeah, it's, I know it's like you're making all these connections, you're learning so much, like you're having all these aha moments. That does not mean that that same information is going to make the same impact on your ex. In fact, I think 99.999999999% chance that this person will not receive that information in the way you would hope.
Yep.
Like,
personal growth is a very personal
Yeah.
journey. And I would say, if you're having all these realizations, to own them and run with them,
Yeah.
and not go backwards to try
Yeah.
and share it with someone who's
Exactly.
from your past.
And I would even argue, if you want this person to learn those lessons, you cannot be the messenger.
Yes, thank you. I was going to say
you
something
cannot
similar.
be the
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, it's like reverse psychology. I mean, people act like children, basically. If you tell them to do something, they're going to do everything else but that thing that you tell them to
Yeah.
do. So, if
Yeah,
you
that's
want
a
them
good
to
point,
learn
really.
and grow,
Mhm.
their
Yeah.
ex cannot be the one telling them that they're toxic in these ways, like it's not going to
Yes.
happen. They got to
Mhm.
figure it out on their own, and then they can receive it at the right time for them. But
Yep.
you have this information for a reason. It's for you. You don't need to break no contact to tell
Yes.
them about it.
I would definitely also take it as a sign that you maybe continue on this path that you're in, because, having such a strong desire to look backwards, I would say there's still an opportunity for growth as far as your breakup healing goes, because you need to be, continuing to look forward and wanting to look forward.
And also, like, from personal experience, like, you will have this moment at, say 4 weeks into the breakup, and then you'll have a moment with a new aha moment like a month and a half into the breakup, and then 6 months into the breakup you'll have a totally different theory about what happened. Like, so if you share this every single time, like, like, you're still on your learning path. Like, you haven't reached the pinnacle of awareness.
Yeah,
I'm
still learning.
Yeah,
I'm still kind of discovering and coming to new realizations about breakups that I had years ago. Really,
it's a lifelong thing. Like, it's never going to end, and so you're never going to have the perfect package of information to, like, deliver to someone for their personal growth. It's just
right.
Yeah,
and they're having maybe their own realizations, and the two of them might clash.
They might
horribly.
Yeah.
And if you've gone no contact up to the time that you're having these realizations, I just want to throw it out there to backtrack on your progress and kind of throw it away in a way by, re-engaging with this person is, I think, something that people could regret horribly.
Yeah. Yeah. So if that's not a reason, is there ever a reason to break no contact?
Yeah. So I was thinking about this all morning long and going through different scenarios of, life crises and tragedies and, deaths and different things.
The
family. So, and you know what? I have to say, and cut this if you want.
Okay.
Yeah. So Claire, one thing that I came up with is, you have told the story about going no contact with your ex who took custody of your dog.
Oh, yeah.
And you told them if they ever needed money for medical treatment of the dog, that
Completely.
you would be there to help with that.
Yes. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, that would be in my life, that would be a very appropriate time to break no contact.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially like you know, like I know that that offer is, you know, he has other resources he can draw on before me.
True.
So it would be
Uh-huh.
truly dire if
Yeah.
I was the only person who could help.
Okay.
So like, you know, there's that. You know, yeah, I think that's fine. Obviously, like children, like
Right.
we suggest a modified no contact.
Mhm.
So yeah, you should be contacting each other about the household issues with the children and stuff. You shouldn't be contacting each other because you're lonely one night and you're freaking out about life. Like that's not you know.
Yeah. Or really most personal circumstances, because if you're at the point with this person that you've got no contact, then you truly need to learn how to do these things and experience life tragedies without them, and you don't need to bring them back in because something bad happens in either one of your lives.
Yeah. And you know, so I guess we could talk about like how do you know when you can like go back to contact on a friend's level? This wasn't on the script, but you know, like that would be breaking no contact technically. It's like, okay, so like how many years do have to go by? Or, you know.
Yeah, that's a good question. And yeah, it's something I would love to think a little bit more about before putting it on
Before
the
I
air.
answer. Okay, I'll cut that one out.
No, it's just my mind is racing right now about
yeah, it depends on the situation for that, I think.
Yes, yeah,
so that's, you know, maybe drop into our Patreon for that one.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be a little more complicated. All right, so will no contact help get my ex back?
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
I am so sorry that the internet tells people that this is some sort of way to rekindle things with an ex, or to help them / encourage them to change their mind about the breakup. My heart just really goes out to anyone who's online trying to, you know, figure out how to heal a broken heart and comes across this advice.
Yeah, and I'm just like, every time I see it, I'm like, that's a fucking grifter and a bad person.
Yes,
because
agreed.
it's so unethical on so many levels. I think,
and also it gives no contact some sort of weird, I guess a bad name, because I think some people are associating it with some sort of tactic to get your ex back. And that's not what we're saying at all.
Yeah, we're saying we want no contact to be a time of healing, not a time of you waiting and hoping, you know,
and staying in limbo.
And staying in limbo, that's terrible. But
I mean, this is a way to take your power back, whereas that way of looking at it is a way of completely giving your power away.
Yeah, giving your power away, but also like taking autonomy away from another person, or at least intending to. Like, I don't think this works, but you know, at the end of the day as well, ethics aside, I don't think it actually works. So but yeah, because it's you know, you're bringing in like a get your boyfriend back coach or whatever, like you're bringing a third person in to help you manipulate another person. So you're changing yourself, you're being untrue to yourself, and you're trying to manipulate another person through your actions or inaction or whatever.
Well, and you deserve to be with someone who just chooses to be with you.
Exactly.
And there's no good relationship that comes out of chasing someone.
Yeah.
That's not what you deserve. And that's not the foundation for a good relationship at all.
Exactly. Yeah. So we made an entire episode 41, on why we won't help you get your ex back, because we do get questions about it, and we're always like, no, that is not what we do. We do not do that.
Yep. Once a relationship is fractured, it's really time to look forward and to rebuild your life and think of it as an opportunity and stop looking backward and, shoot for someone that chooses to be with you every single day, including yourself.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. The next question. They have reached out and want to talk. What should I do? I have gotten this recently from my clients. And I mean, I always have the exact same answer. I just go, just ignore them. Yeah. Like, I don't know what you think I'm going to say. And you know what? It works. I would say block and ignore and delete the message and move on with your day.
Exactly. Definitely delete the message.
Yes.
That will help you. Yeah. I just second all of that. Yeah, just ignore them. Like, you do not have to answer.
You're not with this person anymore.
Yeah.
And it might seem really difficult in the moment, but if you can delete and put it out of your mind, you're going to feel so good at the end of the day for doing that.
Yeah, definitely. All right. I still have some of their things. I cannot go contact until they get their things. Sorry.
I have been wanting us to do an entire episode on this for a while, and maybe we will. I don't know if it would be an hour and a half long episode, but maybe because I have an answer. I love when I get this as a coach, because I always have an answer for every single thing that people think is so specific to this one item or this person or the situation. And you know what? There are so many ways that you can get someone's things back to them without really having much contact. I always advocate having a middleman or a third party deal with it. I have seen people do it. And you know what? If this is really holding you back, then deal with it this weekend, get it out of your life and get on with your life.
Yeah, exactly. And, also you sometimes just lose things in a relationship. So not returning the things is not the end of the world. You're not a bad person for not giving his sweater back. No. I mean, And from a legal standpoint in the States, all you have to do is have one other person tell your ex, your things will be outside for the next either 28 or 48 hours. Please come and get it between now and then. And then after that, it's abandoned donated. Property. Yeah, exactly. Leave it outside your house while you're not in your house. Because, our self-control is limited. So just don't put yourself in the situation where you're in the same place as them again.
Yeah. Totally. So I say this is, a really easy thing to take care of. But I also think that it's one way that people kind of stay clinging to a person is, this whole issue of the things, and that it's really easy to delay going no contact because you've got their stuff.
Exactly.
But once you clear, you think about this is your space, your living space. The sooner that you can get all of their shit out of your house and get this person even more out of your life.
Their energy out of their space.
Don't you want this for yourself?
Yes.
Maybe if you don't realize you do, just trust me, you do.
You do.
So deal with it and move on.
Yes. Cool.
We have loved creating free and accessible healing resources for people around the world who are looking for support on their breakups, broken hearts, and moving on journeys. Each day, we receive DMs from many of you who have let us know the positive impact X-Files is making in your life. Our vision for the second year of our show is something that we both feel so completely. We are looking forward to continuing to share useful resources each week, but also expanding our offerings to help people go more deeply with their healing and growth.
Part of our vision is expanding the connection with our community. And to do that, we are thrilled to be launching the X-Files Patreon. Growing this aspect of our community will allow us to keep creating great content for everyone each week and also start developing even more healing resources and support. We would love for you to be part of the first group of the X-Files patrons. So head to the link in the show notes now to sign up for either the $5 or the $10 level. And we will both be looking forward to connecting with you very soon. All right, so co-parenting. I brought it up earlier.
So there's lots of ways. I think that, we like Claire. I really like what you said about the modified no contact.
Yeah.
Because yes, obviously you will have to have some contact if you co-parent, but I have been amazed to talk to people since starting the podcast to find out how little contact some people have with the person they're co-parenting with. It's remarkable. And it's always the happiest co-parents as well who have hardly any contact with the person.
Yeah, exactly. Because you want to be able to move on with your life. You don't want to know, who they're dating and stuff like that. And
this is a journey, I think, when it comes to co-parenting with someone. But in the beginning, if it's high conflict or if the breakup was rough, or if you're listening to X-Files at all, you can absolutely limit it. I talked to someone recently who the only contact they have is when their ex actually picks up the phone to put their child on FaceTime. The only contact they ever have.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, that's great. And in episode 62, high conflict co-parenting with Katie. She's amazing. She highly, highly, highly recommends, even if your co-parenting situation is very low conflict right now, to have an agreement, a written agreement, maybe worked out with a lawyer, at least a mediator. There you go. Because that's going to protect everyone involved. If something does come up that complicates things, and you can lay that groundwork so everyone knows what the boundaries are before you accidentally break them,
there's such specific things in these agreements, where the drop-offs take place, introducing children to a new partner, childcare, communication between everything. So go check out episode 62, but also please, if this is something that you're dealing with, go check out on Instagram, Co-Parenting Peacefully. That's our friend Katie. She has such remarkable daily advice for people in a high conflict co-parenting situation, but really it applies to any co-parenting situation after a breakup. So go follow her for more nuggets. And you've totally got this. I think this is also another situation where people don't fully own their power and kind of sometimes, kind of maintain conflict because there's a really good excuse to.
Yeah. So, okay, our next question. This one's like, there are spirals of thinking here.
Yes, I love that. I think so when I get asked this, I'm just like, oh, people are so cute.
Oh, they're so cute. All right. So I don't want them to think they have gotten to me by going no contact with them. I don't want them to think that they were so important that I needed to cut contact. It's like this weird, triple thinking of things. I say weird, but I've probably thought something like this at some point. I
have to say for myself, I always just feel more powerful, and I always feel like I'm kind of putting out there that I've risen above things when I go no contact with someone. So I understand that people do think this way, but I would say maybe this is a reframe, is that you could think that you're possibly being perceived that way because you know what? You are the one writing the story about how you're being perceived. Exactly. You don't know that they're thinking
you don't know.
You're writing this story just as easily as you can write the story that you are appearing to be strong and indifferent.
Yeah, exactly. I think anytime you find yourself trying to um anytime you find yourself trying to anticipate how the other person is perceiving the circumstances and how the other person is maybe talking about the circumstances or anything, just stop yourself right there and be like, no, how do I feel about this? How do I want to explain this? How, like, they literally, their opinion does not matter. If they're so super twisty and they're like, oh man, I'm like getting to them, they've like blocked me on everything, that means it's working. Like, okay, let them live in their weird fantasy land.
But also I'm almost wondering if that's like the person's fantasy, that hoping almost that the ex is thinking this, because how would you know, really?
How would you know? Because I think it's much more likely for someone to perceive no contact as like the death knell of the relationship.
I mean, it's such a powerful way to take, it's such an act of self-love. Like, we've often called it a radical act or an act of radical self-love. And maybe that's how people are perceiving you.
So
how are you perceiving yourself?
Not radical. The act is not radical, but the self-love is. The act is actually very rational and
absolutely. We also get asked, how will I know if I've moved on? And if you are dwelling so much on what your ex might be thinking, I would say this is an opportunity to put more effort into continuing to move on, because really you want to get to the point that you're not worried what this person is thinking anymore. And you will get to that point. I promise you.
They will, you will. We'll all get there.
Yes. Another question. Won't I feel stronger by having some contact with them or keeping their info on my phone? So this is a very classic example of a question for which my answer would be, how's that working for you?
Like, how is that going for you? Like, I don't think, like, you don't have to be a masochist. Like,
exactly. That's not strength.
Just do what's best for you. You don't have to torture yourself. Like, I don't think that people will feel stronger. I don't think they'll even like appear stronger. Maybe there are people in your life who will tell you that, or tell you that it's more mature or whatever to like maintain contact and keep talking. But what is most mature is to give yourself the care and the treatment that you need. Like, I don't think that, I mean, we talk about physical injury a lot because heartbreak is processed like physical injury in the brain. If you had, a sprained ankle, maybe something a little bit more grievous, but I don't know. Let's go with the sprained ankle. So you have a sprained ankle, you wouldn't be like, oh, well, I go on a run with my sprained ankle and like, it's causing more damage to my injury, but I'm so strong, I just push through the pain. You're hurting yourself for the future. You want to rest, you want to do physical therapy, you want to do gentle movement in the right ways that will not re-injure yourself. And no contact is like, trying to be friends when you're actively healing from someone is like just ripping off the scab every morning and being like, start new, like, stab me again, why don't you? Like, and I mean, I love that analogy so much, and just want to remind you, you guys are broken up, and it's truly time to start investing more into what do you think makes you strong, and into just your new life separate from this person. And this is, this question in and of itself, this is a huge investment in energy into continuing your life with this person. Exactly. Cut it off. Okay, so we were in each other's lives for such a long time. Shouldn't we try to figure our friendship out? I just want to be on good terms with them. yeah.
Well, if you're listening to X-Files, I would assume that you're trying to heal from this, or that you feel brokenhearted, or that you're having some sort of internal struggle or external struggle with your breakup. And this, like we often say, this is not the time to think about your relationship with this person. I mean, figuring a friendship out is just another, this different wording for continuing to work on the relationship that you have with this person.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work, and it really doesn't make that much sense.
Yeah. And also, like, if you want to have a healthy friendship with this person, it would be best to not have contact during this time, because as you heal, you go through cycles of grief and anger and like, how fucking dare you treat me like that? And, you know, it's hard to be friends with someone who like every now and then will totally lash out because they're like, they're sad, and you are kind of the reason that they're sad, you know? And so if you preserve no contact, you also preserve what happened before in the relationship, and you're able to keep it untainted by the healing process, which can be ugly and messy and full of blame and saying things you don't really mean. And you know,
and
like,
seeing the person can cause so much pain, knowing that you're not together anymore. So, and that's just the last thing that you need when you're trying to heal from the breakup.
Yeah. So if the friendship is super meaningful for you, even more of a reason to be no contact.
Yeah. You will both need to have completely processed the breakup in order to build a friendship. And that takes a lot of time.
Yeah. Yeah. Not just time. You need other ingredients too, but you do need time.
I was gonna say time and effort. So yes, thank you.
Time and effort. Yeah. That's our like rallying cry over here. It's like, you can't just wait it out. You have to do something, but you do need time. Like, it's not optional.
And to be doing things during that time, like listening to X-Files and doing all of the work that we talk about, you know, maybe working with a coach, going on a trip, writing in your journal, all of that.
Yeah.
And I know that this is the last thing people want to hear when they ask this question, but you will have many relationships in your life. They are not all meant to last forever. You're not meant to stay in touch with every person who you have intimacy with at some point in your life. Sometimes walking away and, you know, closing a chapter is the best thing that you can do for yourself, regardless of how, you know, how amazing some of the time that you spent with this person was.
Of the time.
And it is so hard to accept, and it is really hard to fully release someone, but it really is for the best quite often.
Yeah, completely.
And that's sometimes where you find the most growth, is when you fully release someone and accept that it's in your past now.
Yeah, I completely agree. All right.
The next question, we've kind of covered this, but I just want to throw it out there. Isn't it more mature to stay friends?
Yeah.
You know what? Absolutely not. I have just seen this cause some people so much grief and agony, and the idea that it's somehow more evolved, it just leads sometimes to so much pain. I don't think it's quite as big of a thing as in the States, but in Australia, this is definitely how a lot of people saw breakups. And I just don't agree. I think putting yourself first is more mature. Doing things that will lead to your own well-being and your own peace of mind is the most mature. I think this question in and of itself is still such a focus on your ex.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And that's the whole point, is that your ex should not be the focus. You are the focus. You are in a relationship with yourself now, which is actually wonderful. And you should always be in a relationship with yourself. But yeah.
And focusing on that relationship, I think, is the most mature thing that a person can do.
Exactly. Yeah. And you know, I think some of the most like mature people that I really respect are the ones who are not swayed so much by what everyone else thinks. They're like, no, this is what's working for me. I'm not gonna listen to that noise. So, okay. I don't think they know how much they hurt me. I need to have that conversation. So, Yeah. So
We'll go
this
down a
one-
trail of hurt. if you
Yeah,
want.
it's not going to help. Like, I know that question comes from so much pain.
Yeah.
It's just this is not the solution to healing that pain. They're not likely to react in the way you would hope. Even if they did, I've experienced that where they're like, wow, and they say all the right things, but it's still gonna feel hollow. It's still gonna feel like it's not enough. Like, no
And you're
apology
relying
is
on.
really gonna be
Go ahead.
enough. No apology is really gonna be enough.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And you're still relying on your ex to give you peace of mind a lot more than you really want to be at this stage in your breakup,
Yeah.
or ever.
Yeah. So listen to our newly released Got Closure episode. It was episode 100 because I got sick and our schedule got messed up. But
yeah, if you're listening to this episode right now, if you just scroll down
like
2 episodes, you will see episode 100, Got Closure Revisited.
Yes.
And we talk about all the different reasons people want to have this conversation, and then all the different ways that you can give closure to yourself and, write your own ending to the breakup.
Yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Oh, right. Oh, this is a good question. What if they change their mind and want to get back together? Well, dear listener, I don't want this for you. And I do not want you to stay in this state of limbo. And I don't want you to wait around for anybody.
Yeah. Don't be waiting around. The train has left the station. And
totally.
I always say, if you want to get back together with an ex, enough time has to pass where you are 2 completely new people coming together with new experiences and like a wealth of knowledge that you didn't have before. You need to have changed because it didn't work before. Like, so that does not mean 6 months later you can try it again. I highly don't recommend that, especially because, I think you have one chance to make it work again. I don't think you can be like in and out of a relationship. That's not going to work out long term.
But a lot of people do.
Yeah.
A lot of people kind of have regrets or second guess their decision and then stay in and out of a relationship, sometimes for years with people. And, life is too short.
Yeah, life is
you're
too
better
short.
off being single rather than staying in this constant drama with someone, and rather than continuing to go back with someone that is not 100% about you.
Yeah.
I mean, they changed their mind. No. You deserve to be with someone who doesn't waver. And yes, relationships get hard and people have fights, but in healthy relationships, people work through that stuff rather than breaking up
and a breakup. Yeah, exactly.
And it's also, I don't know if this is too important, but someone who's threatening to break up with you and someone who does break up with you and then changes their mind. I mean, a lot of people consider that to be a form of abuse.
Yeah. And trust me, like, if anyone's listening to this and they're like, Claire, I know you've done that. Yeah, I have.
Same.
I, didn't know at the time that it was considered abuse. And so now I hold myself back from that, like those thoughts where I'm like, oh shit, like maybe we're not supposed to be together. Like, what's happening here? Are we making the right decision? I don't say that shit out loud now.
Gotcha.
Because I now know I'm like, that's abusive. You need to like know what you're saying is something you're gonna stick to before you say it.
Yep.
So,
yeah. Oh, I like that you're saying that. That's very vulnerable of you. On the flip side, I've gotten back with someone after we both changed our mind. And as I've often said, I don't live in regrets, but it was the worst decision that I've ever made.
Yeah, you're like, if I have regrets, that would be one.
Yeah, I don't dwell on the regret of it, but I'm able to look at, decisions I've made in my life. And this was way down there on the on the scale of bad to amazing. So let's talk about this. We have friends in common.
Oh boy.
So this is a bit complex. I'm trying to decide where to start with this. First of all, if you're listening to X-Files and you're struggling with your breakup, then even if you have friends with the person, you've got to take a step back. You've got to stop socializing in the same places. You need to have conversations with your friends about not wanting to hear about your ex. And you know what? You might even need to make some decisions that are a bit uncomfortable about saying no to certain, social situations where you are going to be hurt and triggered and where you're going to come out in more pain than you went into it with.
Yeah. And this is an opportunity to set those boundaries with your friends, which can sound really scary, but it's actually really kind to your friends, and it will create more closeness with those people if you communicate how you would like to proceed with this, because otherwise they're just guessing. They probably feel awkward. They're not sure if they're like supposed to take sides or something, and they're just like, walking on eggshells, not sure how to approach the situation, or they assume, well, like, wow, they haven't told me how I should act with this, so they must be fine, in which case I can totally like talk about this person all the time around them. No, you need to tell them like, hey, I'd prefer if you didn't share any information about me, and I don't want to know any information about my ex.
And if they're closer with you, then yes, it's perfectly appropriate to say, and I also would appreciate this person not being invited around for a while.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're like equally friends and it's weird in that way, just say like, hey, for the first few months, if they're going to be somewhere, like, don't invite me. Or, if they're going to be somewhere, like maybe there's a code word, so then I can choose whether I want to show up.
I mean, you're allowed to say no to social situations. You're allowed to say no to your friends, and good friends will understand this.
Yeah, exactly.
And no social scenario is worth your mental health and worth delaying your healing and your growth.
Yeah. We both want to talk to each other. Do I have to do no contact? Yeah, I think you should. If you don't both want to talk to each other and you both want what's best for each other, I think that it's good to have a conversation and say like, hey, like, I really care about you and I want you in my life at some point, but I have to heal. You also have to heal. We both have to heal. How about, I text you in 3 months and we'll see where we're at then.
People go into these conversations with, like expectations on each side. And if you're not healed from the relationship or you're not healed from the breakup, you can slide backwards in ways that you will not be able to predict.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, we are huge advocates for the whole, like, slipping up with no contact can be the thing that, like, sets you up for the future. Like, so listen to the first episode if you're for some reason listening to this one first, because we cover it more there. So we're not like shaming you or blaming you or anything for not doing this or like slipping up a little bit. Like, it happens. But, I think that if you can set those expectations and this person respects them, you're really like building trust for a future friendship. And setting that friendship up for success. And there's a little bit of time where you can't talk before that happens. But if this is a lifetime friend for you, a few months, 6 months is not going to be like that much time in the scale of your lives. You're going to be fine.
Yeah. This would probably be something that if I was coaching this person, this would probably be a time when I would maybe ask, what is your biggest fear around not connecting with this person? Or what is your biggest fear about not talking to them for a few months? What is your biggest fear around saying no or maintaining no contact, even though they want to talk to you?
Yeah.
And thinking about that.
Ooh, I like these hard-hitting questions.
Yeah, I love talking about fears in breakup healing. And also maybe write a list of the 5 top things that you want for your new life. And keep that as encouragement to keep you going. Because I doubt it would be, making sure I'm on good terms with this person, you know, as a top goal for life. I hope not, at
That's
least.
my top goal of my life is to be on good terms
Mhm.
with insert name here.
Mhm.
All right. So we got some questions from our amazing friends over at Ella Global Community.
Please go and check them out. They have a beautiful community over there, events all through the week.
Yeah.
And Claire and I do live coaching over with them once a month. And their community is just thriving, and it's
Yeah.
wholesome, and it's,
It's
great
just the
vibes.
nicest.
I don't know where wholesome came from, but it's just,
Wholesome.
it's a very
They are
warm
wholesome.
community. I'm not saying they're not wholesome.
They're pretty wholesome. We're marginally wholesome.
Yes, please go check them out.
Yeah, we do have some sex episodes planned for the future.
Yeah,
so
we
be
do.
less wholesome.
Let's get raunchy. Okay. So we talk a lot with them about no contact. Sometimes in the lesbian community, there is this sense that the communities are smaller, or maybe that the circumstances are different. So they've sent over a list of questions that they get from their community about going no contact. And so we'd like to go through them. And also we just love having them support us. And I think that a lot of these are things people can relate to. So number one, and the questions, these are fascinating. First of all, what if my ex stays in contact with me and helps me a lot by taking care of the kids? I think this is a great example of how, enmeshed and entwined any relationship can get. And you know what? I have to say, this is what it means to break up with someone, is that you separate your lives. And yeah, I think this is a lovely thing, having a partner take care of your kids. That's great. And, in many ways, I think if you're with someone long-term, this might be something that they would do for you, which is nice. And they're not your partner anymore. I mean, this is extremely intimate to have someone taking care of your children.
Yeah, that is huge. And it shows that there's a lot of trust between the two of you. So I think that this question, I would have to ask, how much pain are you in? How hard is it right now to be getting over this person? If you feel like you're doing fine, then okay. This whole no contact conversation is for people who are struggling to get over their ex.
Yeah, thanks for saying that. I was going to mention, people are asking these questions because they're struggling with their breakup. And, we talk about no contact as a solution for that. So yes, certainly. If everyone's cool and happy and, as can be, I don't think you would be sending this question to X-Files.
Yeah. So there's the assumption here that you're struggling. If you're struggling and you're seeing oh my God, they're taking care of my kids and everything, and I trust them with that. And, there's probably concern about how the kids are going to deal with someone not being in their life that they're used to having in their life, which is totally fair and valid. And I am not a mother of a human child. So I can't tell you what to do with your children, but I think that, this might be something where we would refer you to, our parenting questions. Okay, they're not maybe the blood parents, but they have been in a parenting role with your kids. Yeah. And if that's something you want to continue, where can we draw our what did I call it before?
Well, so what would the new boundary be now that you're not partners anymore? And I think when it comes to this question, I think an appropriate boundary would be, you probably don't want this person coming in and out of your home now that the two of you are trying to build a new life together.
Yeah. So so maybe instead of them coming and kids sitting at your house, they could take your kids to the playground or to the zoo or whatever, and you do kind of that accommodating no contact from earlier that we were talking about, but where it's you're not being emotional support for each other anymore. You are not having that kind of relationship, but you both care about your kids and want to remain in their lives. Then it becomes about how to do that without maintain distance between the two parents, blood
Mhm.
parents or not. But, you know,
Yeah, this can be complicated. It depends so much on what the previous relationship was. You know, I think when you're
exactly.
dating someone with kids, you naturally develop a relationship with them.
Yeah.
And also that sometimes this is a sad consequence of a breakup, is that you also, you know, you lose contact also with family and with children and pets. And it is painful and
Yeah.
hard, but it's also the reality.
Definitely. All
So
right.
this question kind of blew my mind,
Yeah.
but let's talk about it. What if she is also my boss?
Ah!
Yowza. So
Oh
we
my
do
God.
get lots of questions, and I'm going to actually throw in the next question after this. What if I started a project with her right before we broke up, and now I'm stuck with her? So
Yeah.
sadly, I'll go on a limb and say we've gotten lots of questions about people who work with their exes. I get that is just shit.
Yeah. Sorry,
And
it's shit.
yeah, I have had clients who I've helped through this, so I feel like I can kind of speak to it. I think it ties back again to the co-parenting situation. You need to try and limit contact as much as you absolutely can, and you need to make sure that whilst you're at work, you are maintaining professional boundaries. You need to put a bit of a barrier up, around yourself when you're at work, and get out your work affirmations, and try and have kind of put your dignity as a priority. And then outside of work, no exceptions to no
Yeah.
contact.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and think about it, you might want to think about how important this job is to you,
Yeah.
and if it's important and you want to keep it, then you need to it's going to take a lot of effort to get through, but
Yeah.
I mean, think of it that way.
Yeah. I completely I would look into your other options
Yeah.
as well. Like, you're like, okay, is this maybe the time for the next step in my career?
Mhm.
Um, yeah, but definitely maintain professional boundaries. If your boss is using their authority in the workplace to not maintain professional boundaries,
Mhm.
and there's that weird dynamic, then I think, yes, you should be definitely thinking about moving on
Yep. And
to a
whether it's
different
your boss
workplace.
or a coworker who you're working on a project with, in
Yeah.
many companies, this is exactly what HR is for.
Yeah.
And, you can get assigned to a different project or get assigned to a different department or
Yeah.
any
Things
number of
change.
things. If
Yeah.
that's something that you need to consider, maybe you do.
Yeah. Things change with projects and teams all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that it would be shocking to your coworkers that things got reassigned, you know? So yeah, so if you have an HR department, like they're the professionals in this. So
It's
I would
similar
talk to
to,
them.
we've gotten questions about, what if I go to university with them? Same exact thing. If it's that difficult that you need to go and, talk to the administration about having separate classes or any number of things that could come up, some healing and breakups are uncomfortable. And these are sometimes
Yeah.
some of the uncomfortable things that we need to do, whether it's having talks with your kids, having talks with your, superiors at work, asking, for more space from someone, going no contact. It
Yeah.
sucks, but this is part of being an adult and having relationships with other adults.
Exactly. It's, sometimes you need to pivot. And like, especially for university and stuff, like you don't have to go to like your department head or something. You could just talk to your professor and be like, hey, like, is there, usually classes it's not the only time of the week that class is. They usually
Yeah.
have it on a different schedule as
Mhm.
well. And even if you're not officially changing your schedule, you could ask and be like, hey, could I come on Tuesday instead
Yeah.
of Thursday? Because things are awkward right now, like
And
with someone
this
in your
all goes
class.
back to putting your own comfort and your own healing first, and not, really worrying about either what other people think
Yeah.
or the fact that it's going to be uncomfortable in the moment to advocate for yourself. but
Exactly.
in the long run, you're going to probably be glad that you did.
Yeah. And they get it too. They're humans. They've probably been in a similar situation and they're like, yeah, I'll help you out. Like,
Well, whether it's your superior or HR or administration or a professor, they're there to make your experience either working or going to school more positive. So, use it.
yeah. Cool. All right. So I tried to cut contact because I'm waiting for her to be single for a while before I start a new relationship. But if we both want to talk to each other, do I have to? My answer to this question is that it's really emphasizing what you want the other person to do, what you think is best for the other person, all of that. And I don't see a lot of, emphasis on what's best for you, what's best for your healing. This strikes me as someone who isn't as like emotionally devastated by the breakup, at least anymore. Like they're thinking about moving on. They're just thinking about how moving on is going to impact their ex. So, I would just focus on the moving on and just don't think about how it's going to impact your ex. That's their responsibility to be like, ooh, this is impacting me in this way, and this is what I'm going to do about it. They're an adult. You should not be dating minors. So they are an adult.
Great point.
And they can act like an adult and take care of their own emotional needs. You need to do what's best for you. And then they can decide how to react to it.
Yep.
You don't need to be deciding what's going to be best for them. Even if you know their weaknesses and they're going to probably do something unhealthy for themselves, it's part of the learning experience. They're going to do what they're going to do.
Well, and this is just a more and more of a reason to go no contact so that you can get on with your life without being so driven and so motivated by what this other person might think or might do.
Yeah.
So, and I just want to continue to say, you will never regret putting yourself first in a breakup or even in a relationship. And if you're ready to start dating again, then I think that you need to continue no contact for sure.
Yeah. All right. So I've been trying to cut contact for a while, but I just love it when they call me and it feels like a never ending cycle.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Yep. So why are you
that's not no contact.
Yes. I loved when I came across this question because, so many times people say that they are either trying to go no contact or they have gone no contact, but then they talk about having contact.
Yeah. I was like, wait, hang on.
I would just really, really, really encourage you, if you are stuck in this cycle, to give it a try, try 3 months, maybe go a little bit longer. So much freedom is waiting for you on the other side. You two are not together anymore. You are trying not to have contact with this person. There is a reason why you are trying not to have contact with this person.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I would also refer you to the first part of this episode, and we talk about what to do when it gets hard. We give tons of great tips that we know work because Claire and I have done it ourselves. We've helped a lot of people also do it. I know that it's hard, but it's also a cycle that's not healthy and that I know you can get out of.
Yeah, completely.
And also you probably need to block the number so they can't call you anymore.
Yeah, you need to stop leaving it to your own motivation and perseverance, because you run out of self-control. You only have so much per day. You're gonna use it up during the day and eventually you run out. So don't leave it up to self-control. Just block their number, delete their number. If you want to keep their number because you want to eventually be friends, maybe give their number to someone else and be like, if I ask you for this before I'm over this person, you need to not give it to me.
I like that.
Yeah.
I don't know how to respond. There's this Seinfeld episode where Seinfeld's trying to go to break it off with someone, and he gives his the woman's number to Kramer, and Kramer rips it up and puts it in his pocket. And Seinfeld goes back to him a few days later and is just begging for the woman's number on his hands and knees. And Kramer throws it in his face and goes, look what she's done to you. So yes, you could do that. I would love to hear from anyone who goes that route.
Yeah.
And yeah, please do go to the first part of this episode, because this is a really classic example of how breakups or ending a relationship can be like getting over an addiction to something. And yeah, it does feel good to have that little hit. But then you get back into the cycle where you're saying you're trying to cut no contact, or you're trying to cut contact.
Yes.
We've just got 3 more.
It's rough out there, folks. But we got you. So I am still in love with her, but she is getting over a relationship and feels like she can keep me on reserve for a while. How can I cut contact if I want even more contact? Oh,
I think that there's a lot of opportunity for growth and healing if this is the cycle that you are in with someone. And I just feel so much angst when I read this question.
Yeah.
And that's not what life is about. That's not what relationships are about. It's not what friendships are about. And I think that you are going to feel so relieved to put this behind you once and for all.
As Lizzo said, who would want to hide this? I will never, ever, ever, ever be your side chick. So yeah, you don't want to be kept in reserve. That's like, I want better for you. You will eventually want better for yourself. Like, so start that process now of standing up for yourself and being like, no, I'm going to live my life. And if it works out down the road, fine. But it's not because you were waiting. Like,
yeah, I would say though, I mean, the potential for this type of dynamic to turn into something healthy is low. And, you know, think of it as that, you know, what do you want for yourself? What do you like? I mean, what would you say, you know, like your ideal relationship looks like? You know, I would say maybe write out 10 things that, if, you know, is any of this going to be on your list? I hope not.
Oh, so yeah. So check out episode 15, the 10 breakup commandments.
Yep.
Those will, you know, start you on a better path for yourself where you're, you know, giving yourself more self-respect and everything. And if this is like an uncomfortable feeling for yourself to put yourself first, like, you know, coaching or even therapy might be like the right move for you right now. If you've like never considered doing what's best for yourself, like, let's start that healing journey for you, because you can do it.
Yeah,
you can.
I think sometimes we almost don't mention that we coach frequently enough in our episodes. And I mean, yeah, I'll just also reiterate what Claire said. It helps so much. It is one of the most powerful, most effective things that you can do if you're struggling with a breakup, especially for no contact. You know, just the act of emailing or texting your coach to let them know that you're having that you're struggling often nips the desire to contact someone in the butt. And also it allows you to just call in a really amazing new chapter of life. So hit us up if you want support. You can typically find us most easily in our Instagrams. So I like this question and I like the way that it's phrased. And I want people to know who are experiencing this, that it's common and natural and normal. The question is, I tried cutting contact and felt physical pain for weeks. I just gave up.
Yeah.
Yep. So
I mean,
a lot of people do experience physical pain with a breakup, and that is because a broken heart is similar, like Claire said, to other types of injuries. There have been studies, some of which we talked about in the first part of the episode, that prove that it is like having an injury or an illness.
Yeah.
And it's even more reason to move in the other direction from the person.
Exactly, because, you know, maintaining contact with someone who is likely doing all they can to move on from you as well.
Oh, that's a good point.
That is going to cause more pain. I know that it may not feel as intense, but, you know, it's kind of like, all right, physical injury again. It's kind of like having a gnarly injury and not doing PT for it, because PT, sucks. PT hurts. It's torture. Like, you're usually breaking scar tissue apart and doing things that are not comfortable, but it means that a year from now you're going to be pain-free. Whereas if you don't do the PT, you're going to have lower grade pain for the, like, I mean, not to be crazy, but like the rest of your life. Like,
Yeah.
you know?
And you bring up a really good point that I'm not even sure that if you meant to bring up, but going no contact is just one part of the process. And it's just one aspect of healing from a breakup. It's going no contact plus, you know, a lot of other work that you do to move on and to heal.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's why we have an entire podcast about breakups, you know, and that's why we actually coach, is because there's lots and lots and lots of things that you do. No contact is just one of them. You know, working on your self-care, processing what happened, you know, writing the next chapter of your life. All of these things are, you know, can be done in conjunction with no contact, and it gets easier if you do.
Yeah. All right, so last question. I'm afraid to cut contact and lose her forever. Yeah, like, that's a very real risk. You could lose her forever, but you also gain the rest of your life back and all the other soulmates and loves that you're going to have throughout your life. Like, you may lose this one person, but you'll have the memories forever. I know that doesn't sound great right now, but there is a time you will reach where you're like, those were good times. And I'm also so glad that I've had the 20 chapters that came after that. Like, you know, like, there are better things on their way to you. You have no idea what's coming for you, but I can tell you it's going to be better than this, because this, you know, this did end, this did fall apart for a reason. And that reason was so that you could continue with your life and have these new experiences. And yeah, it might get dark like right now. It might be pretty dark right now, but it's going to get better. And, you know, like, that's just the risk you have to take with people. And, you know, if you truly, truly love this person, you got to let him go.
Well, you let them go and you free yourself. I know that's hard for people to understand, but this right here is actually one of the last stages of really healing from a breakup, is when you finally decide to release them. And it is very difficult. But once you actually release them, what is waiting for you is better than you can possibly imagine if you're in this stage of things right now. And yes, it sucks, but it's really crucial that you get to the point where you can let them go.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, it will be as easy as just waking up one day and being like, oh, I'm okay. Like, I'm better now. Like, I've released them. Like, it took, you know, the day before you may have felt it was impossible still, and it will just happen, and you'll look back and be like, that was actually easier than I thought it was going to be. So, you know, like, you will get there.
And you will be amazed how great it's going to feel. Right now, you know, this breakup and this relationship is like an anchor on you. And I know how heavy it can feel and how painful it can be to, you know, let go of the shackles, but also how great it's going to be.
Man, so we are leaving you with this episode with like so much love and care and awareness of how hard this shit is. But you can do it, and we believe in you, and that's why we're here. That's why we like picked this topic as a podcast, because this is transformative time. Like, this is the dark night of your soul. Like, this is the beginning of the rest of your life, and you're going to get there. You're going to be okay. You're going to be more than okay. You're going to be fantastic. And this will just be a chapter. So you have to just keep going and believe in yourself and put yourself first, even if it's the first time you've ever done that in your life.
Yes. I mean, you're setting the stage for what's to come. So yeah, time to step up for yourself.
Yeah. So we'll talk to your ears again very soon.
Yep. Good luck if you're struggling with this. Just take it one day at a time. We're here for you.
One day at a time. Yeah. And so we will be here next week, I think, for our celebration episode.
Yeah, let's celebrate.
Our belated celebration episode.
All right. We're celebrating you, dear listeners.
Yes.
We'll see you next week.
Thank you for listening to X-Files, a podcast about breakups, broken hearts, and moving on.
If you liked this episode, please help others find us by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts or by following the show on Spotify.
And if you'd like to connect more with us and learn about breakup coaching, find us on Instagram at X-Files Podcast.